I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
Hey, what's up? It's Thursday. It's trash night. But better yet, it is one of a kind. With who? With who? It's with
Rob Van Dam.
that guy
It's
over
Rob Van
there.
Dam. It's Rob Van Dam.
Beat me to it. Dang it.
It's Rob Van Dam.
You beat me this time. It's Rob Van Dam, everybody. Just so you know. And hey, it's RVDTV.com. We're live on there. We're live on RVD's YouTube channel. We're live in front of you if you're tuning in live. Like Maddie is, like Triple E is, like Candido fan is, like Frankie Terrizzo is, like a whole bunch of the RVD fan. And we got some new folks in here too. Jerry, he says, yo, it's time. It is time. Devin Dowling's in the house as well. Shout out to everybody. If you have a question, feel free to use the super chat or just ask a question. Sometimes I see it. Sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. All right. Rob, how's it going, man? It was rainy in Vegas, you told me.
Dude, these weeks are going by too quick. Seems like I just talked to you a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it was just like, when did we do it?
It was Thursday.
Monday?
A few more of these and I'll be a daddy. A couple more. Spin the calendar around too quick. It's going to be here quick. Quick.
Wild.
Anyway, dude, for some reason you look like shitty, grainy quality, like I'm watching YouTube from 1989.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought you were going to make fun of my sunburn. Dang it. I wonder why.
No, it looks like I'm watching one of my first RVD matches, and you're like a bunch of little blocks put together.
Oh, man. Okay, 1 second. Rob, you talk about what you want. You talk about what you want to right now. I'm gonna exit and enter. I'll exit and enter real quick.
Well, I must say it's a pretty exciting show so far.
Let's see.
It's been a hell of a show so far. Dude, last week, of course, we talked about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and I didn't know who he was. In fact, I called him Charles Kirk, and you had to correct me. I didn't know prior to the news explosion of him being taken out. And man, since then, I must have watched 35, 40 hours of his debates. Like I can't get enough of them. I watched so many of them on YouTube, and I go from one to the other. And I really like, I appreciate his work. You know, if those are his matches, I would think that if you told me, hey, there's this extreme right wing activist, you got to hear him talk, I would probably find that very unappealing and probably not even give it a chance. But the thing is, even if I don't agree with him, I like the way that he presents his argument. I like the way that he relates to the people he's debating with. I like the way that he backs up his point of view. And I like that he agrees with anybody of a reasonable mindset that it's okay to have an opinion that's different. Where people lost touch of that, I don't know. But it's perfectly fine if someone has a different opinion than you. That doesn't mean you have to hate them. Doesn't mean they're a piece of shit. Doesn't mean you need to fucking kill them. I don't know where y'all lost touch of the fact that it takes different opinions. You ever heard the expression, it takes all kinds to rule the world? Well, that's what it means. And you may not want to hang around certain people that see more important subjective views differently than you do. Some of that might bother you so much you don't want to be around those people. That's fine too. You tend to gravitate more towards people that have the most similar values as you do, and that's what society is about. The other people that drive you crazy that you don't want to hang out with, well, they got other crazy people they can hang out with. There's a place for everybody.
Absolutely.
And I got to say again, just in case I happen to have any influence over anyone listening, and in case you haven't heard this before, because you're a troll living under a bridge and you never heard it, murder is bad.
Murder's real bad, guys. It is. It's not good. And like Rob, no, we were texting about it back and forth throughout the week, and it's just like the whole aspect of people just losing touch of humanity because they vehemently disagree with somebody. And like, yeah, like seeing what Charlie Kirk had to say here and there. So I saw one clip where he said some really bad stuff. And I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. But like, for somebody to just, I don't know, just be okay with him getting shot or like, you know, him losing
Celebrated it. They love
celebrating it.
I do think. Don't you think part of that is because celebrities aren't real people?
It's right. It's almost like you get desensitized to, right? Like the celebrity life. Like as a fan, maybe you see them all the time. You're so connected. They're almost like not a real person to you. So you don't treat them like a real person.
I think they're more like cartoon characters. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why there's always been jokes, you know, about Natalie Wood. You know, what's the kind of wood that doesn't float? Natalie Wood. I mean, you don't even know who that is, probably. But when I was a kid, okay, so that's a reference to like when I was a kid with the Truly Tasteless joke books. There was all these jokes, and in the world of comedy, there really isn't any line that you can't cross, depending on where you're at, and as long as it's funny. But because that's part of that, though, is, you know, like we can make fun of Abraham Lincoln getting shot because we don't know him. We're never going to run into him. He's not even a real person. The chances are zero that we would ever run into him. But now, with the internet and with all the keyboard warriors, like even though they'll never see that person, they could possibly reach them through the internet, you know. And if they can, they want to make sure. If they can, they want to hurt them. That's their goal, you know.
Yeah.
Really ugly. It's a really ugly mindset. But yeah, I think that with famous people, it's not the same probably as if it was these people's neighbor, maybe, or maybe your friend's dad that you grew up with. Maybe you wouldn't celebrate his death in the same way, and you wouldn't have as much hate for him either. But I think part of that hate in them replaces the reality that it's a real person.
Right. Yeah. And maybe it's a I think a whole lot of it too, Rob, is almost like a substitute or a surrogate for your people's insecurities. You know what I mean? Where they use that to almost mask what they're going through. Because yeah, they want to prod at maybe somebody like you or somebody, you know, online that they disagree with, or somebody that is a celebrity. And it's like, if I can just get some sort of reaction out of them, that's what I want. And even if it's negative, I don't care. And like, you know, in that aspect of it all too, I think there is that disassociation of people. And even in normal life, I say nowadays, everybody's so divided, like in regards to how they feel, like whether that's politically or societal. And like even in relationships, it's a very, you know, everybody's so accessible nowadays online. But I think so many people are so apprehensive to actually go out, socialize, interact, and grow their own life outside of what they're seeing in front of their screen, whether that's on a phone or in front of a computer or something sometimes too, Rob.
Yeah. Also, shit, what was I gonna say about the? Damn, I just lost my train of thought because I was thinking about two different things. I wanted to say this is morally disgusting. Is I find everyone I've seen that's like celebrating like they got a touchdown when this father, this husband, this man got his life taken from him, and it's almost scary, and it's like a frightening kind of realization that there's that lack of goodness in people, and so that's where I stand on that. Just in case anyone's wondering, you're crazy if you're just like I said with the CEO that Luigi killed. Everyone's celebrating his death. Dude, that's a person not with it. I definitely am not with you on that. I think that you should take a look in the mirror and see if maybe you're heading in a direction that's really healthy or not. But a lot of people are getting fired for what they've said about it. And that's like all over the news now too. Of course, Jimmy Kimmel got, I mean, that's the most.
I was going to ask you about him. Yeah. What you thought about that.
So indefinitely his show is off the air. And a lot of other people I've seen, like people of all statures, you know, like people with just regular jobs crying because they didn't think those consequences were coming. And I got to tell you, for the most part, it doesn't seem like voicing your opinion would be a fireable offense on any kind of wide margin standards. You know, like if you're a small company, private company, you know, you got a girl working for you, helping you cut the roses in your little flower shop, and it's just you and her, and all of a sudden you find out that she's, you know, this horrible person in your mind. Well, you should have a right to let her go. You don't want her to work there anymore, because that's a private business. And what are you going to do? Get forced, you know, to have her there? And but when it comes to, like I said, wide margin standards, it doesn't seem like there would be like a code of ethics where I see any lines crossed to a point of where it should be considered more than just an opinion. So even though I think those people are disgusting, I still would fight for their right to express themselves. And you know, when it comes to like the freedom of expression, for instance, because that's going to come into play with the conversation, but that'll keep you from being arrested, from going to jail for expressing yourself, as long as you're not saying anything to incite violence, inspire a riot, or anything like that. But as far as getting fired, you know, what kind of protections do you have? If it's a union, then of course you got all kinds of protections with a union job. But if it's a job and you're just working for mom and pop, they're paying you, and then you're writing some shit, I'm glad this motherfucker's dead, and you've horrified these people to the point to where they can't look at you the same anymore, and they want you to go, then I feel like in that situation that they should have the right. You got to go. But the more corporately structured you look at the hiring and firing, I don't see that as being backed by good faith legalities, depending on what you said. And with Jimmy, from what I understand with Jimmy Kimmel, they were saying that he was wrong, and that was what it was about. Not that of what he said, but that's what I heard anyway. I heard Adam talking
the
about
misinformation aspect of it all, because he kind of, from what I'm guessing or speculating, is because he said MAGA was the MAGA with the shooter was a MAGA related, and they're trying to go away from that or something like that. And I don't know I don't know all the details with the shooter himself, and I think a lot of stuff is propaganda in certain ways too at the same time. So it's just like, what do you believe at that juncture? So him saying whatever, I guess, kind of maybe condemned it a little bit, but at the same time, the joke itself he made was not like towards Charlie Kirk's death or in a way celebrating. He was kind of making a joke about how Trump reacted to it all, like, oh, we got a ballroom over here, you know.
And it was fair.
Mm-hmm.
It was very fair. They cut to him being asked a question, and it seemed like he went right on to talk about something else, and that was even, I mean, you can't even argue that didn't have entertainment value. You know, it did. Is him being wrong and saying it was a lefty, or I'm sorry, it was a MAGA and they didn't want you to know it, is that a fireable offense? And is that much different than saying, hey, the storm is going to hit us when we're all sleeping tonight at 2:30 in the morning, so make sure you got your windows locked up tight. You know, this thing is going to blast through town and could do a lot of damage. And then the storm doesn't hit. Okay, you gave misinformation there. Is it that much different?
Well, see, that's it too. I don't, because none of that seemed really a way. Oh, he's got to be suspended because of what he said on there. Like, I think it almost felt like Trump had the agenda in mind already in place because he didn't like Kimmel, and he was just like, "This is my reason to get him out of there," almost. And I think he like did a post on his own Truth Social or whatever that thing is called, where he was like, "Hey, in a week, Kimmel will be gone. Next up is Jimmy Fallon and all that." So he's already calling out these late night hosts out a little bit. So it's
Who is Jimmy? Is
Trump. Trump
oh,
did,
gotcha.
Trump did something like
I
that.
didn't know that. Okay.
I think he kind of had an agenda coming in. I think this was his reasoning, and I think so. You know, I never really found Kimmel to be that funny, in my opinion. But like, I didn't think the joke he made there I thought was kind of funny, and I didn't think it was pretty harmless overall. But who knows, like, where it's all coming from? And I just, yeah, it's crazy, Rob. It's just like, yeah, the express. I wanted to go back to, and I think you kind of made the point too about, you know, if you're Joe Schmo, and I say something, make my opinion voiced online that's maybe polarizing or controversial or anything to a topic, and then my work reads it, or it gets blown up even more so because people shared it. Look at what Dom said on social media about this topic, and then, hey, he works for this company, and then the company hears about it and it gets all swirled around. Is it do you think that's partly onus on me though? Because sure, I could share my opinion, I could say it, but I could still have the consequences of what happens from my job standpoint because I'm representing my job at the same time. Do you feel that's fair?
Yeah, of course, but that's circumstantial on what your job is on your, and definitely if it's like a professional account or you're representing, you know, the profession while you're posting that, then of course, you know, outside of that though, it's almost, you know, it's, I don't know, it almost just seems like in an ironic way, perspectively, you could say that they are trying to punish or at least go after all of the haters that can't stand someone having a different opinion than them, and it sure, shame them, shame you guys, motherfuckers, because you can't handle someone having an opinion that's different from yours, and that's why you had to fucking assassinate the guy. You had so much hate for him, and in your mind, he's spreading hate just because you don't like what he says. I never heard Charlie spread hate. You know, did you?
I've heard one thing that he said. It was about tossing gays off the roof in Gaza, but there's no more roofs to have in Gaza because they all got knocked down. And then he was like effing Muslims, he said, or something like that. And that got like that was like the worst thing I've heard him say. And
like controversial. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard nothing like that anyway. And he backs. I mean, he explains everything, and he's real articulable with his explanations. And a lot of the haters, you know, can't seem to handle that. But the point that I was trying to make, which I think everyone probably gets, is it seems like the let's say the right wing is attacking all the haters for hating and for not allowing someone to have an opposing opinion, but at the same time, they're getting fired for posting an opinion that they don't like, maybe prospectively, you know?
Yeah.
Like they don't like you should be. They don't agree with what you post, and to an extent, you know, you should have a right to post what you want to be, as stupid as you want to be, to an extent. But I mean, you know, if you say, "Hey, I hate all Jewish people or all black people," you know, should be dead, or women, or, you know, even why stop? Why, you know, why? I know a lot of people that are women haters. You know, women, you know, we could. It'd be worth it to be gay if we could get rid of all the women. Like, ooh, gross, man. Like, you know, but you're entitled to your opinion. But some of those are pretty strong. They're going to offend a lot of people, and especially a work of profession that would be circumstantial. You know, it shouldn't be a factor. Maybe if you're in a factory job, unless you're saying, "Hey, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker tonight when I get a chance," you know, and I got it planned out. Then sure. But if you're in the factory worker and the bottles are coming by and you're just doing your spot and putting it back on, and you post something that that says I don't know. I'm not saying it's right, but if you post something really nasty and ugly, I hate this guy because of this and because of that. I think that's kind of what freedom of expression is.
Yeah, let's. How about from like a wrestling standpoint? If you're in the WWE ecoscape and you got social media and everything like that, and you tweet something that's controversial, maybe about the Charlie Kirk situation or anything to that effect, like, do you think that if that gets a lot of blowback and feedback from the company, do you think that should have consequences in regards to what a wrestler tweets about? Or
Yes,
yeah.
and here's why. When you're a wrestler, you are a public figure, and your very value depends on your public image and how your public image is perceived by the people. That's why, like, a big company like WWE wants to control, all of its assets in the talent department as much as possible, especially when they're young and stupid and don't know what's going too far and what they should and shouldn't be saying online. And so that's always an issue. But like something like that, you go posting some hateful shit, it could definitely affect their plans for what they're doing with you, building you up as this big meat and potatoes, all-American baby face. Then at the same time, after work, you're getting all your own heat, all your own hate, by putting stupid, judgmental stuff that is really inconsistent with the character they're building for you, and even with people even liking you. So 100% that affects the value of your value at your job and how well you can do your job. Totally different than like a factory job.
Right. Like, yeah, you're on the public eye. And not only that, you're portraying yourself to an extent, but you're also portraying a persona on air that is contingent to a storyline and to what WWE is marketing you as. It's a very key component.
Imagine being a pro wrestler and then on your own time, your most personal, most important agenda is petitioning against violence on TV.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
trying to bite the hand that feeds you, trying to get the show shut down. That is your job, and you're out there, end violence on TV.
No, we don't want to.
That's what I want to see.
That's what I end violence on TV. Well, do you remember the
CBS, NBC?
Do you remember the
NBC? Listen to me. What? I'm done.
That's okay. The wrestler Zachary Wentz. Remember the controversy that went with him? And it wasn't his fault necessarily.
Oh yeah, I know. What about him?
So he was in a relationship with another female wrestler,
right? And
they broke up. They had a bad breakup or something.
And she posted a bunch of shit about the SWAT. Is this?
Yeah, because he was shaving and he had like the Hitler thing, and then was doing that in the mirror. And he was with WWE at the time, and they released him. And really unfortunate. I like Zachary a lot. So
pretty stupid thing to get fired for, huh?
Yeah, it's just obviously you're goofing around and you're just effing around. Like, it's not like you're serious with that kind of crap.
And even if you were, you know what I mean? Like, even if you were saying, hey, I look like Hitler, take a picture of me. Wow, I look like Hitler. I'm going to post that. I like that. So what? I mean, just the image of Hitler isn't evil. His image isn't a crime. You know what I mean? He was actually considered a really good leader by the German people.
Yeah, people I know. It was like the cult of personality kind of thing, right?
How are you just posting you doing his pose? How is that somehow sending hate into the world or crossing any kind of line of ethics? I don't get it. I honestly don't. Is he paying tribute? Did that somehow hurt the Jewish people somehow by him posing like Hitler. I really don't.
It would be one thing if he
Well,
was serious, like if he was serious in his convictions about it, like he was a Nazi or something like that. But it's just like goofing around, and you're caught in a moment where, like, and he didn't even share it. Like I said, his ex posted up online, and it was not even him that did it. So it's just like,
So should like my friend Alf Herman never be allowed to wrestle on American TV because he's a German and he was there under Hitler's rule and they look at Hitler like he was actually a good leader. He did a lot of good things for the German people, and like should he not be allowed to be on TV? And should we only use fake actors that portray Germans, or not even have German heels or baby faces on our wrestling programs? Like, where do we draw the lines there?
Where's the story? Yeah, where do the lines blur, and where do they kind of meet and go to the end? You know what I mean? And it's like,
he's a character in history. He's not, even if it was Satan himself, okay? Let's just say it was. Let's say I put horns on my head and I have a pitchfork, and I said, Katie, take a picture of me. That should be worse than Hitler. It's the fucking devil. He's like the source of everything bad and evil. But if I had that picture and that was posted on my social media, I wouldn't imagine that one of the consequences that I would lose my job over it. That'd be the last thing I'd be thinking about.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't think, especially that. Maybe because I don't know.
Unless it's on like a Jewish holiday, and Zach, was saying, hey, fuck Jewish people.
Oh, yeah, then that would be, yeah, no way there. But
I don't take it that way, and I don't know how anybody could.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just an example of where people are overly sensitive from the information I have anyway.
I think the aspect of Hitler, though, too, is just the Holocaust, such a horrible thing that happened, and so his ties to that, it's just,
what are his meaning Hitler's, not Zach's, right?
Yeah. No, that's right.
Of course, no, I get that, but that's not all he stands for. Like, he's not like a emoji that stands for the Holocaust,
Kind of, I would think so, because he's basically the symbol of that, like in a lot of ways, the swastika, and then just him in general. You think of Hitler, you think of all the horror. He's like considered the most evil person ever to live, in a lot of ways.
So do you think if I had a swastika and just a swastika poster and took a picture of it and posted it, you think that I would get, the repercussions? Now that I think about it, I know that would piss a lot of people off.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think.
Wow, you think even professionally though, you think that should be enough to maybe cost somebody their job, maybe?
Yeah, I would say so, because
it's a symbol. It's weird. You're printing a symbol of that. I could put a bloody knife up there.
Well, that's what Kanye did too, right? He did that with all his, he did swastikas and all that kind of stuff in his merchandise, and everybody's like,
it's weird that it's illegal. I get where you want people to be a little more sensitive to other people, but also I think the people are overly sensitive if they require it to that extent, to where it seems like it's unreasonable to ask somebody, to. Shit. I don't know. I can't be Hitler on Halloween, and I don't. I'm just. We're using him as an example, but
Hitler's the extreme most. I think one of the most extreme ones you could use, though, as an example at the same time.
And there'll be plenty of devils.
Yeah, there's plenty of devils.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and there'll be plenty of like Friday the 13th, Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, whatever. There'll be plenty of those guys on Halloween, and they're all going to be fine.
I think though it's like the connection of the direct connection Hitler has, when it comes to what he's actually done in the real world. Like Jason, obviously a fictional character, and he's Friday the 13th. He's slashing up girls and guys and all that crap. And then you got the devil, who's the general aspect of evil, good versus evil, and that's the devil. So it's like all whitewashed in a certain ways. Hitler's just like boom, like a punch in the gut to like Jewish people and just the world in general, I think, and more so. So I think he's got more of a direct hit than those other the fictional persona of Jason or the thought of the devil in general. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think that you're right. I think you're right, but I mean, is Hitler's image illegal or not?
I guess it wouldn't be illegal, right? It would just
Right.
be consequences come with if you dress up like Hitler. You know what I mean? Frankie,
So it's like more of a moral crime than an actual crime, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it would technically not be a crime, right? Unless you're really doing something heinous with it. But heinous. Frankie Teresa, here's a good point he makes. Hitler did some horrible things. Making light of him is like making light of a parent who badly abused their kids. So that's a different way to look at it for sure. I could see that.
I mean,
because it's a real life thing. You know what? It's a real life thing.
But also because it's a real life thing, that's why I keep going back to the respect that he earned in Germany. I mean, from their perspective, he did a lot of good things, gained him a lot of land, I guess, added a lot of soil to their domain. But I don't know what all he's worshipped as a hero for in Germany, but I was told that they're taught in school, and when I heard that was like 90. It was a conversation I had with Alf like in 97, 98. It blew my mind. I was like, what? But he killed all these fucking people, man. And at first, like, it made me mad at Alf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But then I realized, well, that's definitely not his fault. And I opened up my mind enough to really take in what he was saying. And okay, yeah, if you're over there and he was one of your guys and all of his efforts were for you, then I can see where your opinion of him would be skewed. But of course, you're going to say, but everyone should know that it's wrong and immoral to do what he did and round people up and mass execute him like that, regardless of who you're doing it for. And there's that too. But I mean, it's strange that there's not even room for debate on something so vague as just a picture doing the salute, or it's to me it's like dangerously protective of that violation. To like, it really treads into I feel like our rights. Is it stupid to do that? Yeah. It's illegal? No. But if you do it, you're going to lose. I guess just like the Charlie Kirk thing, where a lot of people are getting fired and stuff, and it might not be illegal, but the bosses of those jobs are definitely looking at it as if it's immoral by their values, and that's all they need to hear.
Yeah, and like obviously Zach was just doing it in jest and like in a like a private moment where he's having fun, and then it gets posted online. So, and thankfully he's like with TNA and he's doing a good job there and everything to that effect now. But I think with
I know that's happened before where there was just a swastika. One of the girls, I don't know, I think Seth used to date her. She was really hot.
I remember that. I can't remember the girl's name though. Can't remember the girl's name.
She's dating another girl or married to another girl or something. And,
okay.
Yeah. And I know that about her, but I can't think of her name right now. But same. I remember that was heat too. Like something in the background. I think that was. Didn't
Ludwig Borga didn't he have like the SS on him somewhere?
Yeah, somehow that.
Not.
I mean, I remember them talking about it on the Dark Side of the Ring episode, but I don't remember how big of a problem that was for him.
Yeah, right. I mean, like some of that stuff is, oh my gosh, it's just crazy to think about all that. Who?
I mean, I guess he's like walking around with a KKK tattoo, like go to certain places, they're gonna want to smack you probably in certain neighborhoods.
Oh, for sure, right? It's just it's a wild thing to like who with how society is and everything to that effect.
Guys, enter the room dick first. Big Dick Dudley dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Guys, this isn't about performance. This is about legacy or third legacy. Give our group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, they're talking about how it gets up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Free. Just use promo code RVD at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. And big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring One of a Kind with RVD.
Spark them if you got
Smoke them
them.
up if you got them, gang. Smoke them up if you got them. Wow, what an interesting conversation. I didn't know we were going there. Hey, we got Maddie has a bunch of chats in here. Let's see which ones to hit first. We'll do this one. Maddie versus Mr. Marijuana. Thank you. RVD's dream WrestleMania opponent. One more time. If you had one more WrestleMania opponent, there would be one you'd want to take on, Rob, in particular.
Well, the obvious answer would be Sabu if I could pick anybody.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and then considering that he's not an option, I don't know, man. I was kind of looking forward to the possibilities of having a return match with Cena because that match was just so standoutish and the crowd was so awesome. It'd be cool to see what we could do revisiting that scenario in 2025 or if we're talking 26, whatever. But you know, some scenarios did go through my head when I was thinking about trying to manifest that or see if that was even something that was realistic, you know. And then when I talked to the office and they liked the idea, then I was like, holy crap, you know, that's like wow, like what would that be like, you know? And that was before he switched heel. So then once he switched heel, would that have mattered? Because the crowd would have booed him anyway, especially if it was Philly or one of my ECW haunts. I would have been the babyface anyway. So maybe him turning heel wouldn't have even mattered, or maybe that would have been a factor. I don't know. But anyway, you know, I usually don't do fantasy matches or whatever, but since that was the most freshest on my mind, I'm going to give you that as an answer.
Yeah, you and Cena, I mean, even if he was a heel, I think that would have elevated things a little bit at the time because, I mean, people want to cheer for you. People do like to cheer for Cena, particularly because it's his farewell tour, but at the same time, too, he was being a heel and he could get illicit booze. I think, yeah, depending on the environment itself, like if it's Philly or somewhere there, man, yeah, that would make some good stuff, Rob, for sure. So,
Could have been cool.
Could have been cool. He does follow up with RVD versus Ray at WrestleMania in Vegas. That would be sweet. That'd be really sweet. And then he said, did Eddie ever take Sabu on? And yes, he did, Maddie, as Black Tiger.
In Japan?
Japan, yes. YouTube Chris actually has it up on your channel, up on RVD YouTube. So if you're done watching, once you're done watching this, tune into that.
Boom. Perfect.
Yeah. But you and Ray would be good, Rob, in Vegas. That'd be an awesome match.
Yeah, I've only had the one singles match with him, and that was when it was ECW versus SmackDown right before we started the ECW TV under the WWE's umbrella in 2006. And yeah, you know, I was plugged into my original self. I was so happy to be there representing ECW. I had that indestructible feeling that I seem to be describing a lot, but that was the mindset that I was in. Anything goes. This is up to me to show off, entertain the crowd, using the chair, using whatever was at my disposal. And that was a lot of fun. And I've always loved working with Ray as my tag team partner as well. So good dude. Good dude.
Great, dude. Great. How do you remember when he wrestled early days in ECW too, and when he was so young and everything to that effect? Like, do you remember? Did you guys cross paths? I don't think you had a match.
Yeah, no, you'll like this. In the ECW arena, especially back when it started and had a lot of growth ahead of the company. The 2300 Arena is a building that they actually use to store floats in it for this parade.
The Mummers. The Mummers
Parade, yeah. And that's what the building was used for. And so, like, when we wrestled in it, it was like there was a big section that was like petitioned off where we had our ring, the crow's nest, the bleachers, all that shit. But if we had to go to the bathroom, we would cross through that partition into the warehouse. And then there was a porta potty like you would see at a construction site that was in the middle of this big open space in the warehouse part. And that's what we had to do to go to the bathroom. And I had to piss one time. And so I went through the door and I'm walking back there. It's like really dark. Lights aren't on. It's hard to see. I'm going towards the outhouse gimmick, slowly, hoping I don't run into anything. And then I heard somebody call my name, Rob. Psst. And I was like, whoa, what? Rob, psst, hey. And he goes, hey, do you like smoking weed? And I could smell it, and it smelled like so strong, like way better than the weed that I was smoking back then in '96. And I followed my nose over, and it was one of those things where there's like a ramp that goes down, and so you could see underneath the ramp, like between the cable, there's someone using that spot underneath to exist, like a little fort. And and it was Rey Mysterio in there. And this was one of my first times in Philly. I definitely didn't know my way around very, very much. And he invited me to smoke this dude's weed, Dreads, the guy that was in the front row with the dreadlocks. He would bring the best fucking weed that I'd ever had at that time. And that was where it started. I went out there to piss. And then I was smelling it. And Ray was like, you smoke? I was like, fuck yeah, I smoke. And smoked with Ray and with Dreads. And, this might have been my second, third, maybe fourth time in the Philly arena. It was one of the very first. And so, yeah, I remember him.
Wow. How about that? Man, that is a hell of a story.
Yeah.
Was Dreads a pretty regular hookup then for you guys back then?
He was also a little bit crazy. I could hang with him for so far with him being crazy, and I was always waiting for him to drop the curtain act, and he can't really be this crazy. I think I told this story on here one time before.
Yeah, wait, were you at the Oregon Diner? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Go ahead and tell it for new listeners.
Same dude. Yeah, I'm sitting there with him, and then for anyone else, Kimona Wanalea came in and sat down next to me. And I like Kimona Wanalea, you know what I mean? And I was like happy that she came in and sat down. I was looking forward to talking to her. And she's like, hey, how's your night going? Or something like that, all bubbly. And he just tore her apart as if she didn't have any right to be happy and bubbly. He was just like, I'm going to be fucking sick. Are you serious right now? Like, are you being serious right now coming in like with that? And we're supposed to put that over? Like what? Because of your ass and your titties? Like we're supposed to. And I was like, hey, dude. But really, I was just staring at him. Like I couldn't believe he did that. I was like, I'm like waiting for him to bust up laughing or say he's joking or something. She got up and left. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you're for real? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, crazy dude? And yeah, he got too much heat because he decided he wanted to train and become a wrestler and get revenge on Raven for something Raven said to his girl during a live show that upset him. And so, of course, while he was schooling, the boys didn't have his best intentions while they were training him in mind. They were roughing him up, making it an unpleasant experience for him. And I never heard from him again. But I mean, I learned about the really good weed and about the difference it made in smoking, from a nice glass pipe instead of a shitty old little golden one with a screen and sticks and seeds. It was just a total different experience. It was a big upgrade. And it didn't even seem like it was the same plant. Like the way it affected me, the way it tasted, smelled, it was so smooth. It made the other shit really seem unhealthy.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy too. It's like Rey Mysterio is the one that helped you propel you more into the world of cannabis and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ray's awesome though.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah. People also suggesting you versus Dom Mysterio.
You?
Great. But me. Take on me.
You said Dom? Oh, Dom, his
Dom
kid.
Mysterio, yeah.
That'd be something. That would be something.
Rob, I've been meaning to bring this up too. Do you know that on WWE Shop they're selling your singlet? People can buy your singlet.
No, I didn't know that. I'll look at it.
I'll send it to you.
I'm sure I saw something at a con recently in Boston, actually, at the Fan Expo. Yeah. They had them there, and obviously they're not the same material. They're like thinner, cheaper, mass-produced, not hand-painted, one of a kind. But they were still pretty cool, and I didn't know where they came from. But now if you're telling me they're coming from the office, maybe that's where they got the ones from that they had at the table there. And I don't know. I will look into it.
They're on WWE Shop. I think you can buy one for like $70.
That's crazy. And like Katie bought some baby tees, some RVD like baby clothes and stuff they have out there.
Wow, perfect timing.
Yeah, it's cool. They want to keep making RVD stuff since I hadn't been there in so long.
They got some pretty cool merch of you on there. I think from what I remember seeing. I'll send you the link though once we're done here. Let's take a look here. More super chats. I'll get to Frankie's here. He's got a good one. Thank you, Frankie, for the $5. Would you rather have wrestled Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart in 1997? And then he said, can you give me a little info on your training partners under the Sheik other than Sabu and Dango? So he asks Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart in 1997. So that's right in the thick when you, quote unquote, invaded with WWE and everything like that. So
right. I would have rather have had the match with Bret. Bret, I was a little bit more on Bret's side when it came to the Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels side. So that would have been something. And I still am good friends with Bret. I like the guy a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. What was the other thing?
Other question was, can you give him a little info on your training partners for Sheik other than Sabu and Dango?
Yeah, so Tom Bennett was the guy that brought me to the Sheiks, introduced me, and then I got myself set up as far as being a student with him. Tom Bennett was a power lifter, still is. He's over 300 pounds, like really, really big dude. And he had been wrestling like around Canada a little bit here and there and training with the Sheik. And I met him when I was bagging groceries and started talking to him because he was so big. And then that ended up with me going to the Sheiks. We had another guy there that was a big guy, Judge Dredd is what he wrestled under. His name was George. Super nice dude. Him and Tom would often have to do things together because they were both over 300 pounds. And Judge, I think he's like 6'7" or something. Really big, tall, giant kind of a dude. And then there was Dango. And Dango was much like me. We did a very similar style, but always tried to outdo each other. We were very competitive. and didn't copy each other. Like if I had the split-legged moonsault and he wishes he would have come up with it, he'd come up with a different version of a split-legged move, and that would be his. And so really, there was just the four of us with Sabu. That's as big as the class got. We weren't always all four there. Maybe half the time, all four of us would be there. Sometimes it would be just me. Sometimes it could be me and Dango and Sabu. Could be any combination, really. But a lot of times I remember I went by myself with Sabu, especially when Sheik was gone. And I didn't know at the time why, but that's when we moved the ring from Sheik's backyard to Sabu's backyard and continued the training. That was a lot of my memories was in Sabu's backyard and us pushing the envelope, trying to get higher and higher and higher off the top rope, trying to not protect ourselves with moves that needed to look unprotected to get over. Just the four of us, and once in a while someone else would float in, like Joe Bruce from ICP. Sometimes he would come in for like a day, and then we wouldn't see him again for months, and then he might pop up again. Could be at either of those places, or it could be at a ring of mine in Battle Creek. Even Al Snow came with him, I think, one time. And there was always guys like that would come up just once in a while. What was that other dude's name? There was a promoter named Malcolm Monroe, and Joe Bruce came from his camp, as did what was that guy's name? Blanking on this other wrestler's name that would come work out like once every 3 months or something with us, and the rest of the time he would be with Malcolm Monroe's school. So it wasn't like a class, like a school. It was very much more like privatized training. Usually there was 2 or 3 of us in the ring at a time. So there's only room for one guy to be the ref and 2 guys to wrestle when it's like that. And that's about it. There was, like I said, a couple other guys that would come and they would either show up once and then never show up again, or maybe, several months later, I might see somebody again. But everybody was always welcome because we were trying to learn.
So when the Sheik was pretty much done training you guys, your class, and helping out with Sabu and everything like that, did he continue to train wrestlers after you guys were done, or was he basically finished after that?
Yeah, no, he didn't continue to train, and it wasn't like we ever reached a graduation day or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We just got too busy, Right. So Sheik, his health went down south, and then especially after he had the fire match with Sabu in Japan, he was hospitalized for quite some time. I think something intestinal, some kind of bacteria or infection in his stomach or something happened after that. And it just so happens to be like my very first actual pro wrestling show, not counting the kickboxing shows that I used to wrestle at, because this was like a whole nother level. My first was the Sheik's last promoted show, the last show that he would do under the Big Time Wrestling banner. And at that time when he did that show, he was thinking about maybe throwing something into that again, and maybe getting the Big Time Wrestling going again or whatever. But that's not what happened. That show was cool. And then I did like another dozen. I did about a dozen shows overall, like that first year, maybe one a month, roughly on an average. And usually Sheik was just getting me booked there. Sometimes he was working the shows as well. he didn't run another show, and there was nobody training or learning or working out back at the places. Like the ring was kind of just torn down after that.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. I think that's pretty neat though. Like the class that you guys had, and it was like you, Sabu, Dango, Judge Dredd, and the other guy too. It's pretty neat. Like small, intimate kind of class. And did Sheik train the bigger guys a little differently? Did you notice, or was it basically the same kind of foundational wise?
Same mindset as far as being committed to an extreme point to where we believed in the moment and weren't compromising it for anything. There was no room for that then. We didn't talk to each other, set each other up. We weren't even allowed, to be going up the top rope and stuff. Like we could have done it if we were quick enough and could make it look like the guy wasn't waiting on us. But that was like something really daring to do back then because of us being in the moment and the necessity put on us by the Sheik to be in the moment. But besides that, big guy moves, Samson, that was what Tom Bennett wrestled as. And so, trying to liken him to the biblical character Samson. I remember Sheik kept wanting him to, before he did his finishing move, which was like an upside down bear hug that Tom was using, Sheik wanted him to let everybody know his finish was coming by pressing the pillars apart, like Samson did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when he
Delilah.
What's that?
Samson and Delilah, the belt.
Yeah, and he pushed the pillars. It might have been Samson. It might have been Gomorrah that he was destroying. I'm not sure, but it was.
I think you're right. I can't remember. I can't remember. But you're right.
Place came tumbling down.
Right.
So she kept wanting. I remember he kept wanting Tom to get that down where he's pressing on him, and it was so funny for us. We were goofy anyway, in a goofy age, me and Dango, but we loved it when somebody else would get made fun of, like by Sheik, because then we would have that material forever and ever and ever. And like if he said something to Tom about you don't look like a muscle man, you look like a bloated cow. He goes, put your chest up. That would be like gold for us, running into the ground like forever. And I remember him saying something to that effect with Tom, because he was saying that Tom's, the way that he was posing, his belly was like kind of relaxed and his back was arched so that his stomach was sticking out. And Sheik said something making fun of him. And man, we loved that. We thought that was so funny. But over and over and over again, he kept having him, only to get to the point where Sheik was like, got to the point of satisfaction where Sheik said, okay, work on it more on your own time.
All right, we've shown enough. Frankie adds that Sodom and Gomorrah were cities that got destroyed while Samson pushed the pillars of a temple. So I don't know if there was a specific...
Okay, yeah, so yeah, they got destroyed, I think, a different way, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah. Sodom and Gomorrah was like, I think Sodom was that the one where they turn around and turn into salt? I think
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep. Interesting. Oh, cool. So good questions there, Frankie. Appreciate that. Maddie adds, if TKO wants money, they should book RVD a championship run with the Roman Reigns schedule. Roman Reigns had a pretty good championship schedule last year and stuff. So, yeah, that'd definitely be a way to make some good money, is get RVD a title run.
Sounds awesome. As I sit here right now, I don't know what I'm going to do as far as if I'm going to return and wrestle more or just keep extending my time off, indefinitely and not wrestle more. And I just, listening to clues from the universe. Sometimes they do offer an inconsistent direction that makes me think a little more into how unsure everything is. But one thing that I know is that the guys now are making like they're paid like way different than they used to be back when we did it, you know, and that's really cool. I feel like glad we were able to do our part to get them where they're at right now. So of course I'm not bitter about that. I'm happy for them. And then having said that, you know, if I end up still continuing to whatever extent in the business and then actually experiencing that, then that would be a pretty cool full circle kind of validation, confirmation, winning kind of thing to happen as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But whatever, we'll see.
Yeah, see how it goes. This kind of Maddie's other question here ties into this. Should WrestleMania Saudi Arabia have a twin U.S. show like in Boston? Rob, last week you talked about it, and I forgot to follow up on it. But I thought you made a good point. Like what they could do was like almost like a WrestleMania 2, where you have WrestleMania take place in Saudi, but then you also have a portion of the show take place in the United States somewhere. I think that would be a pretty good idea on WWE's part.
Maybe, and I was when I brought it up, like my initial thought was more of the peripheral businesses, you know, the conventions, the autograph signings, the fan activities. I was thinking they could still do that somewhere here, and all of the independent wrestling shows that would be part of it, like they always are every year. I wasn't thinking so much about WWE putting on a wrestling show, which obviously they don't want to be their own competition, so it couldn't be at the same time. And I don't know that they would be interested in doing a wrestling show here. I don't know. Like we said, do they expect tourists to come in from other countries for this? I think they do.
Yeah, I think so too.
And if so, then they might not need to do anything here from their perspective.
For sure. I'm sure. Hey, Rob, my cat just caught a mouse. Like as we're talking. Yeah, he fucking ran into the kitchen, and here he came with a mouse in his mouth. I don't know what he did. He carried it into the other room, though. I don't know
what if it's not dead and he drops it in your bed? And
I know. I don't know. I'm so paranoid to be like, where'd that fucker put it?
Does he try to give you gifts like that?
Yeah. So I walked in. No joke, Rob. I have like little mice toys for him once in a while. And I walked in the one day, and there was one of the toys laying there, and I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." And so like I go to like pick it up, and sure enough, it's just a real fucking mouse. He killed it.
Yeah.
So he got another one here at some point. I'm gonna have to check in on him and see what happens at the end of the show. But Maddie dropped some Tupac here. She says, "Tupac, they got money for war, but can't feed the poor." There we go. Maddie also has memories of WrestleMania 23 with Sabu. The documentary was so good. Yeah, Rob, we didn't even talk about the documentary. I'm over halfway through it. I fucking love it. It's so cool. Like Joe Clark has done a really good job, I think, at like keeping it simple. It's like, if you guys haven't seen it yet, it's not a whole lot of interviews. It's with just Sabu, like focused on Sabu so far, at least, you know, and like just sharing conversations with him, and then bringing guys like you in and getting the different perspectives as GCW experience so far. But it's such a cool way, and I thought he set the tone really nicely of the friendship with you, the bond that you and Sabu had together too. So it's been really good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. We've really been getting some good feedback from everybody, and I really appreciate that. It's Joe would do some things definitely different than I would do. And so a lot of the artsy feel that Joe was going for is like that was his vision. I'm glad that he was able to bring it to fruition, and that people were able to perceive it and accept it the way he wanted them to. I'm glad everyone to get an inside look at the Sabu that we know and love. You get to see the man that makes those decisions, and see how he feels about this position that he's at in life, how he feels about going into his last match, what that means to him, what the fans mean to him. You get to learn all about him firsthand, and all of that turned out really great. I'm personally a little concerned that his family might maybe think it's too personal. I think Sabu might have possibly felt like it was a little too personal, maybe. But I think that's a good thing overall in the big picture. You know, it is what it is. And this isn't about Sabu's career from A to Z, following him on his way up, growing up, and stuff like that. There's still room for one of those to be made, by the way. But this is more like the man, the myth, at this part of his life, you know, going into this and after. And it's incredibly raw, real. And that's why, like I said, maybe if anything, I think Sabu would love it, but he might think it's a little personal. I mean, you know, you see him unprotected. You see him sleeping in bed. You know, I mean, how much?
Sure,
How much more down can your guard get than that?
Right. Yeah, no, there's a lot of like moments in the hotel room and stuff you see. Yeah, it's a very like look into Sabu the person at that juncture and everything to that effect, and what he, you know, his thought process. It was cool to just see how, and he said like some of the stuff that he said was just so smart, like from a life learning perspective. I think like I wish I could pull the lines out that he was mentioning, but just some really, really good stuff. It really makes you appreciate Sabu more, and it is a good. I think if you're not a wrestling fan and you were to watch that, I think Joe does a good job at kind of introducing Sabu as, wow, look at this person and what he's doing and what this pro wrestling genre means to him as his art, and so to speak, and everything.
And what he means to the pro wrestling art as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right off the bat, without seeing, 40 years of his career, right off the bat, you just know this guy's been places.
He's been, yes.
That's the character we're dealing with. Yeah,
absolutely. Because there's little footage of him in ECW, WWE clipped in, Japan clipped in, so you get like a little bit of a resume of what Sabu's done if you were not familiar with wrestling or him or for that juncture. So it's I've really enjoyed it so far. So yeah, I hope the family does enjoy it too when they do. Well, I'm sure they've seen it. Have they? Do you know if they've seen it?
I haven't talked to the family yet about if they've seen it. It's only been out 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
If you have questions too later on about the documentary, drop them here. We'll try to we'll take a segment of the episode next week or something. Maybe we could talk about it a little bit more too, and get your guys' feedback once you get a chance to watch it. So Rob, you mentioned this last week. I think it was last week. Chelsea brings up, what type of breed are your puppies? They are so cute. What is the breed of the Barb and Lovey?
Yeah, they're both they're called Brussels Griffons.
That's what it is. Brussels Griffons. Yeah.
Muscles from Brussels.
Muscles from Brussels.
Yeah, the breed comes from Belgium, and they're always confused with or mistaken for being pugs. Like everybody, that's the most common thing people say, unless they know, oh my God, it's a Brussels Griffon. But otherwise, they usually say, is that a pug? What is that? So they got to be related, but we love them. They're great dogs. And what's funny about dogs is the things they have in common just naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we got them from the same breeder, but they're totally not from the same actual dog mom. And they're not the same age. Barbie's 4 and Lovey's 1. But anyway, some of the things that are interesting that one does, they both do. Like they love footwear and feet. They love to come over and lay on your feet, and they take our shoes out the doggy door all the time. And another thing is they rest their chin. Like if they want to look at you, they'll put their chin like this. Either it could be like on a cushion of the couch, or it could be on a box, could be on your shoe. But they do that a lot of times. They put their chin on something and rest it while they're looking. And dogs are amazing. It's amazing that like that certain breed has these commonalities that they all do. And then you look up a different breed of a dog, it has its own, circle of random quirks. That's amazing how much personality they have and in common too.
Right. Well, my old dog I used to have was a Husky Shepherd mix, and so the Huskies are really like stubborn, or like they're good escape artists too. So like they'll climb fences and everything like that. And sure enough, my dog Jody, she used to do that all the time, and like she'd get out and be like, "Holy shit, we gotta go find Jody."
Yeah,
definitely different characteristics.
Certain dogs like Boston Terriers are so smart.
Yeah.
They all seem to understand when you're talking to them. They just look at you and they're like decoding your words as you're speaking.
I get what you're saying. I understand.
A lot of dogs, yeah, German Shepherds are smart, obviously.
Oh, yeah, German Shepherds for sure. Hey, what do you say? I'll tell you what you say. You say perfect. I say Gene. We say perfect jeans. It's fall. Fall is coming around right. Fall weather brings some good clothes out. Especially if you're going through the seasons and stuff like that. You're in an area involved in the seasons. You want to look good, even if it gets a little cooler, a little less hot. And but you still want to look hot. You still want to look good. And there's no better way to do that than with the perfect jeans. Yes. If wearing jeans feels like a job, fall's about to make it a full-time struggle. That's right. Most jeans just can't hang. They fight you going on, cut off circulation the second you win a battle against the button, and it gives you instant swamp ass the second the sun shows up. Look, let me say this too. The pair of jeans I have on right now are not the perfect jeans. And I literally trying to climb on my bike. Like I'm like nearly falling over because they don't have the stretch and the durability and comfort that the perfect jean has. Well, the perfect jean is here to end your denim difficulties with jeans that make getting dressed feel like one of those damn, I look good, I didn't even try moments. They're made with super soft fabric that blend makes you say, holy shit, the second you slide them on, and still stylish enough to idiot-proof your fall wardrobe so you'll always look put together. No fashion sense needed. That's right. They got 4-way dynamic stretch so you can effortlessly leap over puddles or get on your bike and haul ass to catch your 7 a.m. train to work. Lightweight so you won't be baking on the bleachers at your kid's ball game during the hottest time of the day. With reinforced seams and YKK zippers, you'll never have to worry about being caught with your fly down or embarrassing crotch blowouts. That's right. All these other pairs of jeans, crotch blows out, hasn't happened once with my pair of perfect jeans. So you got to do it. You got to do it. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off their first order, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code RVD15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code RVD15. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Fuck your khakis. Hey, get the perfect jean. Oh, yeah, Maddie did bring up memories of WrestleMania 23 with Sabu as well.
Well, there's only one WrestleMania with Sabu, so of course that was the new breed against the originals, right?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. How did he feel about being in that big platform kind of spectacle of WrestleMania?
I'm trying to think of what stood out, because it's so weird when you're inside of the Sabu bubble at that time. You're not thinking like, fuck yeah, I made it to Cobo Arena and 60,000 people. Instead, you're thinking like one of the things he was thinking was like, fuck, I hate working with this motherfucker. And for some reason, Elijah Burke had a lot of heat with Sabu.
Really? The Pope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, but he would get heat naturally with the boys in ways that people from out of the business wouldn't really understand.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Just being like he was a cop before, and I don't know like what age he broke in, but there's certain kind of like locker room ethics that might not be written down, that you just learn are part of the business, as far as like, it could be looked at as feeding egos, or it could be looked at as giving respect. But like when young guys that are green and haven't been anywhere, like when they start saying, "Man, I want to power bomb you off the top rope, and I want to do this and this and this," that's just an example. I'm trying to capture that vibe that I'm, and whatever it was. I think Sabu thought he was a stooge too, and but he would talk about him a lot. But a lot of that, I think, was just a distraction, so Sabu could talk about something, because he hated the monotony of being at WWE. He was wanting to get himself fired, and I was telling him, dude, that's such a not good move for your career. Just stick it out. Quit being like that. And he saw the value in being the rebel that wanted to leave on his own terms, get himself fired or whatever, and then go back to where he doesn't have to deal with having so much control over him and everything. And he couldn't, at the time, I guess he lost sight of the bigger picture, which is just, dude, hang in there for a while. The longer you hang out here, then the more value you'll have out there. And anyway, when I try to think about what stuck out for with Sabu at that time, a lot of it was frustration for that, and him feeling like he wasn't being used in the best way, and even concerns with the ECW, and what they were doing with it. But it was awesome, being in Michigan. Of course, the fans loved us. And I loved teaming with Sandman and with Dreamer and Sabu. I mean, those are my boys. So, looking back at it, what more could I ask for? And I think the finish was RVD over with the 5-star frog splash. So pretty good moment, especially because most of the time it felt like they were trying to get rid of the originals and bring the new breed in. That's what it felt like they were doing to us. But not on that night.
Not on that time around. So it might have been frustrating for Sabu in like that time period and stuff like that. But how much did you enjoy having Sabu in WWE at the time with you?
I enjoyed it a lot. It was like whenever. Yeah, it was awesome throughout our careers. Whenever we could cross paths and then be in the same place at the same time, it was always awesome. In WWE, like that's the top. That's like like, come on, bro. Like let's make the most out of being here, and the sacrifices that it would take didn't seem worth sacrificing to him at the time. So that's too bad. I would have liked for him to have learned to adapt and learn to work it out and get his flowers, what was due to him eventually through the business. And it wasn't going to happen. It was always trying to hold on to him and keep him from running out the door, like pretty much the whole time, it seems like. So he wasn't happy there. He had been out. He had been made himself self-made for too long to be able to adapt real easy. It wasn't easy for me. I was a lot harder to control than I would have been if I would have went 10 years earlier or something. I already had my values set and was stiff on certain things, whether it was morals that I represent or whether it was what I would do and what I wouldn't do. It's like, look at it this way. The longer, what was that? I think Lovey just knocked something down. The longer in life you're single, I think this is true whether you're a female or a male, into your 20s, settle down someday, mid 20s, into your late 20s. You really start learning to live on your own, taking care of number one, and you really start learning the values of that. And then your 30s. Well, really, the longer you keep going being single, the harder it's going to be to adapt to being with somebody else and to find somebody else that's going to be a compatible match to you now, as developed as you are now at this point in your life, having been single through so many of your adult years. That's how it is with wrestling too. Maybe that's why they grab them so young, because I wonder that sometimes when I think about how immature I was in my early 20s and think about how many people they have in that age group and seeing them, at that awkward place in life, trying to do the right thing, which, what does that mean at that time? Balancing, accomplishing what you said you were going to do, at the same time, being humble and respectful enough to where you can learn what you need to and have the doors open for you. And all of this stuff, that it's not the same when you're younger. When you're in your early 20s, you're a lot more moldable, adaptable. You're a lot more like empty water, and then the longer you go, that water is filled with all kinds of things that you've collected along the way. It just, the more solid and full you are, the odds are against you finding someone else that's full and is into the exact compatible things that you're into that are important enough to make the relationship work. I feel like that's true I feel like I've been talking for 20 minutes. Anyway, that's true with a romantic relationship. That's true with wrestling. It's true with any relationships. When you're younger and still learning everything, you're a lot more flexible than you will be when you've already learned a lot of things and have certain things that you say no to.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rob, too. It's just like I've been single for quite a while now at this juncture, but I'm used to being on my own and stuff like that. But when it comes to getting into a relationship, how is all that gonna, will their values align with mine, and how much am I willing to adapt to theirs, and vice versa, so to speak? So it's pretty interesting to think about, for sure.
Think about all the living things, that could be like, what a couples fight about, leaving the toilet seat up, little things like that, crumbs on the kitchen counter. It could be like little things like that, but you could be very particular in the way that you like a lot of things at this stage in your life, having kept yourself organized and using a formula that got you this far. So if someone all of a sudden says, hey, I'm going to trash the place with 50 cats, it might be kind of hard to take, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. It just means, the longer you go, the more you're fighting the odds, I think, in the numbers game.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely something to consider, for sure. Hey, we got some breaking news, Rob. Breaking news.
Let's fucking break it right here on RVD One of a Kind.
It's something that you've been very known for the past couple of weeks. It's kind of faded out recently, but this is thanks to Instagram, a wrestling historian. Thanks for the $5. Raza Jackson has finally been arrested. He's booked on a felony charge for assault, and his bond has been set at $50,000. This is from TMZ.
Wow, that just happened today, I guess.
That just happened like 30-something minutes ago, where it broke on TMZ at least.
Wow. All right.
Early this morning, so you're right. So I learned that the 25-year-old was taken into custody early in the morning and is booked on a felony charge. Jail records show he's currently still behind bars. Yes, being held on $50,000 bond. The arrest stems from that ugly incident at Knox Pro Wrestling event in LA. So, wow.
Very ugly. Very ugly. Lots of ugly news lately.
Oh, yes.
It really is. Sometimes it seems like it might be a good idea to back away from the news or the source of a lot of negative stuff, but also it's stuff that's real that's happening out there. So the more you do that, you disconnect yourself from knowledge of what's going on out there, you know.
I know. I kind of find the balance. Like I do. I really want to disconnect a lot of the times. Like whether it's on social media, like Facebook in particular, because it's just like that turns up so many people's opinions. It's like I don't care what side you're on. I don't care anything about that. And sometimes it's just constant. You're just getting hit with it. Barbie, she doesn't care about all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think though ultimately it's just I the way I consume. Oh, look at Lovey too. They're just hanging out. Like it's so great. But yeah,
Girls.
you see so much of it and everything to that effect. It's almost like the way I consume news and stuff. I try to do it via comedy, so I get some sort of lightheartedness out of such a frustrating topic. Sometimes I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about like Theo Vaughn and stuff, and
Yeah.
and like getting information that way. Kind of makes things a little easier sometimes, I think, too, to kind of digest.
Yeah. Well, but there's been some similar vibes over the last several weeks, and we've been talking about it.
Mhm.
And then I hear many, many other people talking about the exact same thing that I've been talking about, about how much hate there is in this society, and they can't accept someone having a different opinion than them. And just like it seems to be, it's in my spiritual algorithm because it's coming up a lot. I'm hearing a lot of people trying to profess the same kind of values. Like, people, it's okay that somebody feels different than you do.
Mhm.
They're not,
Right.
It's good. It's good that we have different opinions. Damn, it's pouring rain again.
Holy
Right? We need it. We need it in Las Vegas.
Jeez.
Well, dude, every time it rains here, it floods. Like, the whole city is kind of like on an incline, so that the strip, I think, is the bottom, I believe, of the depth there, and so all the water goes there and it floods. And if it rains a little bit here, usually I see on the news it's completely flooded. Usually people have drowned, and fucking people can't drive. People are pulled over all over the place, and I've never seen that here. But the water couldn't really stay that long because of the incline that I told you.
Yeah. I bet like school gets canceled and stuff. All that's,
Hopefully nobody dies. I'll let you know. Last time I remember seeing, there was only one person that reported on the news that died, and I was like, well, at least it's only one, but still, it's rain.
Yeah,
like,
in the rain, just die from a flood is just crappy.
What a way to die, yeah.
Oh,
Especially if you're sitting in your car and your car just starts going with the current. It takes you somewhere. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yikes.
Doesn't take much.
Yeah, no, it doesn't at all. Yeah, I wonder why it took so long for Roger to get arrested finally. How did it just come to fruition at this point?
Right. One can only speculate. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
There's of course the civil court and then the criminal court. And if he's arrested, then that means that the criminal prosecutors finally decided to go after him, indict him, and who knows what they were waiting for.
Yeah. It's going to be a wait and see kind of thing for sure.
And then who knows if the civil will follow afterwards. I mean, I've read that it's going to, but I don't know if that's a for sure thing or not. We've seen the headlines that say the lawsuit's coming to. It's probable. It's very probable. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what goes on. But just imagine all the hate that Roger's lawyer is going to get from all the trolls that don't think that Roger even deserves his side of the story to be heard at all. Like, everyone deserves a defense in their day in court, right?
The court of law, right? That's how it works. You gotta.
But I mean, everybody knows what he does. So if he says he's not guilty, then I don't even know what the charges are anyway. What he would be not guilty of, but I would imagine that his lawyer is going to say he's doing what he was told to do,
Right. That's
and
it.
then some, and then
And-
some. Not that that's going to find him innocent, but that's the basis, the foundation of how everything sprang off. So
Absolutely.
that's still what I've always said. It's still completely true. So I'm sure people still hate it.
Still, people should, right? They'll still have something to say. Frankie Terrizzo asked you this, Rob. Who's your favorite character in Taxi Driver besides De Niro?
Damn, man, that's been so long. I guess I'll go with Jay Leno.
Is Jay Leno a Taxi Driver?
Pretty sure he's the one that he went and kidnapped.
I've never seen Taxi Driver. I've never seen it.
Yeah, he's a taxi driver and he's fantasizing. He's a super mark. I actually started writing a script years ago. I do that sometimes, and I have like little things, and then I think maybe someday I'll get back to it. But it's probably been 20 years. But anyway, some of it was inspired on that. Some was also inspired on The Fan, also with Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Baseball movie. I love that.
Wesley Snipes is in it too. Yeah, it's a great
It actually
movie.
has the same vibe. This guy is a little delusional. The taxi driver, he's a delusional fan that's, fantasizes that he's got this real relationship the way that they do with celebrities. And it's Jay Leno, and he wants to, him and Sandra Bernhard come up with a plan. They're going to kidnap Jay Leno and do what? I can't remember what they're going to do with him after they kidnap him. Force him to spend time with them. I don't know if there's more to it than that or not, but yeah.
Wow. I like
Sandra Bernhard too. I'm going to say her and then Jay Leno.
Then Jay Leno. All right. I love Scorsese too. I've never watched that movie. So
Delusional fan,
I love
the fan. Like very, very similar. Both of those movies are, cover like a hypothetical situation that's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, good stuff. Maddie says Sabu with his dogs. Yeah, like RVD, dogs, cats, horses. Love them all. Yeah, Sabu had those 2 pit bulls with him.
Yeah.
Good.
So people that knew Sabu, they know that he was somebody. He was a teller a lot more than an asker, and he wasn't someone to wonder things out loud as much as he was to teach, and that's just the way he's always been. And he got that from the Sheik, but he wouldn't be somebody that would say, I wonder, why when the sun goes down, this happens. He was more of a person that's like, boom, everything you do should be explosive. Boom, everything, whatever it is, boom, make it explosive. Or he was always like more of like what he said was, I'm passing this knowledge on. And the reason I bring it up is I just remember him talking about the dogs one time. He was staying at this house here in Las Vegas. He wasn't staying there anymore. Oh, he was in the movie though. When I'm at that house. Matter of fact, this might even be in the movie. I think it is. I'll be damned. Now that I think about it, I think the cameras were out, and I forgot about that because it's just me and Sabu hanging out. And Sabu talking about his dog. He says they love 3 things: exercise, attention, and food.
Yeah.
And he just said it like that was so matter of fact. They live for 3 things: exercise, food, and attention. And he said it as if like he'd been thinking about that, and boom, that was just the way it was. And I think he's right. I've been thinking about that. I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, that really makes a lot of sense. And like my dogs love attention. I try to give them more when I think about Sabu saying that even.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Too.
Exercise and food. Not sure what order, but I think that is in the movie maybe. And that's just that's the way he was. He would when he first saw Barbie, you know, she's got the
underbite.
underbite and under smile, and has that look. He was hanging out by my pool the very first time Barbie came out, and he saw her. He looked at her, and he goes, "Oh, who's that?" And I said, "That's Barbie." He goes, "You're ugly and you're beautiful." I'll never forget that. It was just such a Sabuism. He wasn't like joking. He felt obligated to say that. Like that was what he knew that he needed to throw it on the table. You're ugly and you're beautiful.
You're beautiful. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No.
Oh, people are asking too where they can catch the documentary. Guys, you can check it out at kinema.com. That's cinema, but with a K instead of a C. So KINEMA.com. Check it out. You can you can purchase it for $10 and watch it. And you have 48 hours to watch it once you start watching it.
Is it $10?
$10. Yep. Mm-hmm. So $10 you can tune in and watch it. At least that's the way I watched it. I don't know if there's a different way you can check it out, but if you go to kinema.com, you can watch it on demand there right now.
Yes, Kinema needs their cut too, probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, and also this is the platform that I'm told Raven's documentary is on. So hopefully by me putting his over, he'll put ours over as well.
Oh God, Razor just dropped the mouse in front of me. And it's still alive. Razor, my cat. He brought the mouse out, and he just dropped it.
Is he dead?
No, he's alive.
Gross, dude.
Oh, he's got him again. Oh my God. Oh no. Yeah. Can you just leave him, Razor? Oh, he's taking him into the bedroom now.
Wow. I want some cats, but they got to live outside, I guess.
I know, right? Look at he's a hunter, that's for sure. Oh man. All right. Hey, Seth. Thanks for the $20, brother. Always feeling ira, never feeling irate. Loving everyone and never dealing no hate. That's from my song Stay Cool. I learned that from RVDology. All right.
Sweet. Fucking A, man. Might be in LA too, coming up. I don't know. I just got an invite to the a movie premiere of the Smash Machine.
Yeah, with The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I just got that, and if I can, I would like to make that. And also, I'm just telling Venice Beach Dub that because I think of him in LA, and also maybe we can shoot that thing that we didn't shoot. I don't know if that's. I mean, I know he's not filming every day, probably, but if it's something insertable, but. Anyway, I'll let you know as that develops, dude.
Yeah, the stars can align. And that'd be awesome. You go into the premiere of that. You know, The Rock got a lot of good critical praise for that. He got like a 15-minute standing ovation and everything.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. He's awesome. I think the story sounds awesome, and I would like to learn more about Mark Kerr too. Yeah,
I know he wrestled Kurt Angle like in the way to the Olympics, I think, or something in the Olympic qualifiers way back when. So him and Kurt have crossed paths in the amateur wrestling world. So it's pretty neat. The Rock is like did that role, and yeah, he's getting a lot of good praise for it. So I'm excited to check that out. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me see. I want to make sure we covered all the super chats. Make sure I got everybody. Did I miss anyone? Doesn't look like it. Cool. Let me see if I don't think there's anything else really I wanted to cover too much, Rob, other than that. Usually the fans do a darn good job at directing the thing. I take notes just in case, but most times they're not.
Directing the what?
Directing where the show goes. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I just said last week someone asked if we could get somebody as a guest, and it was someone I hadn't thought of before.
So we talked. Booker T, I know, was somebody we talked about.
Yeah.
I made a couple suggestions to you. I don't know if we want to do it on air or not, but
but just someone in the chat room last week was like, "Hey, can we get so and so on sometime?" And it was someone I hadn't thought of, and I was like, Dude, yeah, that would be good. That'd be awesome. You know, someone that I liked, and I was just wondering if you. I guess you don't remember who it was.
I know maybe this was a couple weeks ago. I think somebody suggested Joey Styles back when. But yeah, I'll try to think about who that was, maybe. But yeah, I mean, we get some good guests. Dude, I loved Tom from last week. He was really funny. He was great. And then obviously you had Spike on here, so who knows who else we can.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun having guests on here, and then I think about it sometimes like on Wednesday, and then I'm like, well, that's like one day away, you know, like that's not very much notice for so and so, and then it's Thursday, and I'm like, well, now it's even less notice because I never contacted them, and then I'm like, fuck it, next week will be good.
Next week we'll get it.
Yeah.
Frankie's got some suggestions here. How about having Raven or Jungle Jack Perry on?
Maybe that's. I wonder if that's what someone said was.
Might have been Raven.
No, but hold on, you didn't read that like an ECW dude at all.
Wait, what do you mean?
Read that again. Who they're talking about? Who's
How
Frankie?
about having Raven? Oh, or Perry. I said Jungle Jack Perry. Perry Saturn.
Yeah, he's talking about Perry Saturn. What a trip that guy is, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to get a hold of him, but I guess you know, I mean, I'm sure I can call somebody that would know, or
yeah. It'd be a good one to have.
That would be a trip, yeah. And Raven also would be a good one. He might want to promote his documentary as well.
For sure, yeah.
Is that out now? Do you know?
That's out, and I think this weekend they're doing. It might be this weekend they're doing airing at the ECW Arena. I think.
Oh, okay, I saw some kind of screening, like two of them. I think. Maybe that's what. How long has it been out? Do you know?
I think about at least a week and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so because I think they aired it in Boston. I think they aired it up there, and Raven did a Q&A up there too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Boy, Marcelo, he's got an all-star list here. How about Cena, Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray, and Paul Heyman? Boy, that'd be good. Be a tough one.
Right, yeah.
That'd be tough ones. But somebody says Stevie Richards. That'd be a fun one. I'd like that.
Right, yeah.
I grew up a fan of Stevie. So. Yeah. Cool. Oh, super chat. Maddie dropped in. RVD, have you seen Joe Henry living with Sabu video? Did you see that little video Joe Henry did when he was younger?
No.
So he did like this. It's like Joe Henry does like music videos and stuff like that. And really, when he was early on in his wrestling career, he did this one where he was living with Sabu, and it was some guy that had like a Sabu mask on, and it was like he did like parody lyrics and stuff like that. It's pretty clever. It was pretty
no, I never saw that.
Yeah, that was like, it's got to be way over 10 years ago or something at least.
Wow. Now my friend Johnny at the Nerd Bar, he just found an album online, a Sabu album we didn't know existed.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. How about
it's
that?
Straight up like it was like a 33, vinyl.
Oh.
And it's totally Sabu's face on the cover, and on the sticker inside. I can't remember what the songs are. Like he told me something about. I think I don't know if they're hard rock or punk rock. I don't know. I never knew of them, and I guess he just found out about them, and he's been buying Sabu stuff online, which me too. I think I got maybe 7 figures to go, and I'll have all the Sabu figures that I know of. So being that close, I got to finish it out, so because I inherited his, like 3 or 4 of his, and I had 3 or 4 of my own. And then now when I see him online, I'm like, damn, I don't have that one. Like that's something that's on my agenda now. So I will be a collector of RVD and of Sabu.
They only made one 2-pack of you guys together, right? Was it the one at ECW 2-pack way back when?
There was never a 2-pack of RVD and Sabu. There was one with the ring. That's the
maybe
that's the closest, and that was ECW, where me and Sabu are in the big box with the ring. Is there anybody else in that? No, maybe it is just me and Sabu. But but that's the one that comes with the ring. And then in WWE, me and Sabu and Bobby Lashley have a 3-pack.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So there we go. I wanted to make sure. Did we get all of them? Yes. That was it for the super chat. Somebody did make another suggestion that I thought was good too. Oh, Mr. Anderson. Somebody. I guess he just returned to TNA tonight or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's a good interview. I saw him on with Kurt Angle, and I had some email correspondence with him a little bit, but that's been it. But he could be bad.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah.
So I guess that'll do it, Rob. This has been a fun one. We covered a lot of good ground. My cat murdered a mouse, or is about to. I don't know.
Yeah, guys, if you want, don't forget about the Sabu documentary.
Yes, definitely.
Kinema.com. I wasn't really sure where to find Kinema until I heard you say kinema.com, but
yeah,
that makes sense. I was going to look it up because I just tell people cinema, but with a K, and they say, all right, I'll find it. But anyway, yeah, I've been happy the way that it's been perceived. And like I said, there's still room to do the superstar in his career and all that. Like that's like a whole nother story. But Joe Clark and I have to talk about a bunch of projects anyway, and we always have, but it's time to tighten up and find out what our next one's going to be now.
Well, let me say again, guys, like the vibe of it all, it paints a really like good and great portrait of Sabu and kind of what he's going through as he's working towards the last match and what his thoughts about life and what he was dealing with at the time and everything like that. Really cool stuff. And it shows the bond and friendship that him and Rob have too. Rob, when I was watching it, I tried to take a screenshot, but Kinema blocks it out, even if you do a screenshot. But my favorite visual was you and Sabu on bikes riding down the street, the side view of you guys. I was like, that is a fucking great shot. I was going to make that the cover of the episode this week if I can.
Yeah.
Because it's good stuff.
Yeah, that was fun, man. We both like riding bikes. He's way too trusting. I don't know how many times he's gotten the bike stolen by leaving it outside.
Really?
Outside of the nerd. Like I bring my shit inside and set it in there. Like no one's gonna fuck with it or care that I'm bringing it inside. And he leaves it outside. It'll be fine. And he had a motorbike that I think was stolen that wasn't his that he borrowed. And I think maybe his bike. Then he got a pedal bike. I think that might have got stolen too.
Yeah. Oh man, I got to get a U-lock on there.
Yeah.
Right.
Did I tell you last week about when Sabu and I went to the Starbucks and saw the lady with the dog there?
No.
Just a quick Sabu story to let you know what kind of guy he was. So we walked to Starbucks and this woman comes in there and she's got the cutest little dog, Chihuahua, something, mutt mix. And she's like, do you guys want to buy it? Do you guys, we're like, oh, cute dog. We both love dogs. We're petting the dog, getting energy. And then she's like, do you want to buy him? And we're like, what? Why are you selling them? And she's like, no, I have to. And she says, it's only, she says, I need $40. It's only $40. And Sabu reaches in his wallet, pulls out $40. It's like he's got like not that much more, but he takes out two 20s and he gives it to her and he says, here's the $40, but please don't sell your dog, keep him.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, Sabu, she left and she went and sold that dog to somebody else and made double. You know that, right? And he's like, well, hopefully she didn't. That's the kind of guy Sabu was. So even if he would have made different decisions back in WWE and would have learned to adapt and stick it out longer, even if he would have gotten the kind of money that his star power is entitled to. He would have given it all away because that's just Sabu.
Man, yeah, that's great stuff though. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, you see the generosity and that kind of his thoughtfulness in the documentary too, which is awesome too. And so,
Yeah, he gives somebody money there, and he's not doing that because the camera's there. That's the way he is. He does that all the time. But I remember one of the scenes, like it's just like a quick thing. If you don't catch it, you don't catch it. But he's like walking by, someone asks for money, and he's like giving him money. And it's not like Sabu's living in the Tyson mansion. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, for sure, right? But no, God bless Sabu. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
cool, man. Appreciate it once again, Van Damme fam. Remember, murder is bad. Hating is bad.
That's it.
Hate leads to murder.
Those are negative terms, everybody.
Negative terms, yes.
That's right. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time here. One of a Kind with RVD. Be sure to subscribe to Rob's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to RVDTV.com. If you like what we're doing there, you can sign up and become a member. I do match reviews. I'm going to do a match review. The one you mentioned last week, Rob, will you versus Chris Jericho? I'm going to look that one up and do a little match review on that. So that'll be the next one up in line. So, but we'll see you all next week. Thanks you all.
Thanks, Van Damme fam. Thanks, Dominator. Peace out, hoes.
Peace up, A-Town down.